In the first quarter, the Patriots' defense was on the field for 12 minutes, but only allowed 3 points.
With good coverage, a sack for the Patriot veteran, Rob Ninkovich.
On their second drive, New England's offense marched 65 yards in under 45 seconds.
With Lewis out of the backfield. Tackle! Sprints outside of the 10, to the 5, end zone bound, touchdown, Patriots!
And the special teams came through with the first kickoff return touchdown in Patriots postseason history.
Deion Lewis for the 20, cuts it back right at the 30. Go. Lewis to the 35, 40. Deion outrunning the Texans down the right side. Goodbye! Woo! They don't get her, Mo!
We missed tackles. Guys on the backside weren't able to get over, cross, and make the play.
That's the tackle. Once he breaks it, there's no way he's going to be caught.
Patriots get an easy touchdown with Tom Brady not even having to leave the sideline.
God. Take them plays away, kick return away. We beat them.
Way to go, D-Lou!
Hey, D-Lou, get some oxygen.
Way to go, baby!
Get some oxygen, Bubs.
But New England also broke a few of Belichick's commandments, like turning over the ball twice in the first half, after having a league-low 11 giveaways in the regular season.
Houston has it on a fumble on the kickoff return by the Patriots. Throws to the end zone and has Fedorowicz. Touchdown, Houston! Yeah, Babu! Whoa!
Go, baby, go!
New game, boys!
Alpha, go!
Brady, quick throw, left side, tipped and picked up by Poirier.
So Tom Brady thrown only 2 interceptions in the regular season.
Let's go! Get a sense of urgency!
The Texans took away Tom Brady's bread and butter, quick short passes, by playing man-to-man coverage with one or sometimes no safety help deep.
Well, you know, the Patriots, they see this man-to-man defense, Houston being aggressive. They're going for the big scores.
They got a good defense. They're ranked, first-ranked defense, and I thought they did a good job. They had a good scheme. They were prepared.
Too slow! Let's get some tempo, let's go!
With the Texans keying on the short stuff, Brady went long.
Throws a deep ball downfield for Hogan. He makes the catch!
You go cover 0. Nobody in the middle of the field.
And they were kind of covering some of those shorter zones. They were able to hold the ball a little bit, get the ball down the field and let our guys kind of get into the defense.
Brady stands in the pocket, has a lot of time. Brady bouncing on his feet, waiting for somebody to get open. Throws it on the left side for Edelman. Makes the grab at the 30. He runs it inside the 25.
And Brady just sits there, starts directing traffic with the offhand.
The pass protection, Tom Brady once again, man-to-man, throwing it deep.
Julian Edelman becoming the all-time receptions leader in the playoffs in Patriots history.
Hey, congrats. That. I want to win. Let's go. I hate that. Yeah, that.
Belichick also preaches red zone efficiency. Facing a 1st and goal at the 3, the Patriots were in position to extend their halftime lead.
Devlin makes the catch left, fighting to break the play.
He's not in.
And he did not get in.
The Texans D stiffens at the goal line.
How the f do we not score there?
Would have been nice to get 7. We had a couple good chances. We just didn't get it done. If we don't improve in those situations the next time we play, it'll probably be the last time we play.
Gotta win this game now. Let's go, boys. We gotta tough it out. Let's go, boys. We got the feet wet.
Holding a slim 4-point lead early in the 3rd quarter, the Patriots continued to rely on the deep ball.
Brady under center, pulls away with a play fake. Deep drop by the quarterback. Lobs a throw toward the left side for Edelman. and Julian makes the grab over the shoulder, stepping out of bounds at the 36.
How about how many times in this game the Patriots have gone down the field?
They're almost forcing them to. They're playing tight man-to-man coverage.
Going for the big one to the end zone. It is caught by White for the touchdown.
Well, James White out the backfield. Bernard McKinney just not fast enough to run with him.
When number 24, Jonathan Joseph, shadowed Julian Edelman's motion, the Texans revealed man coverage. Linebacker Bernardrick McKinney was responsible for running back James White. Tom Brady recognized the 260-pound linebacker alone on an island with the 200-pound receiving back and took advantage of the mismatch.
Offensive guys, get those guys going. Like, get them going. Tell them we got to answer. Get them going. Let's go.
Bill O'Brien's former quarterback was able to connect on some big plays, but his current one could not.
Quarterback steps into a throw to the right. That ball picked off. Caught by McCourty. He jumped the route on a throw for Hopkins.
Devin McCourty's interception did not lead to New England points, but he later teamed up with cornerback Logan Ryan to provide the game's turning point.
Osweiler dropping back, looking right, comes back left. He throws down the middle, too tall for Hopkins. Deflected, picked off by Ryan. Has it as he runs right to the 20.
No! Get him down! Get him down!
Logan Ryan with a cut at the 5 and eventually swarmed under.
We needed that. We needed that.
Nothing happens good over the middle late. You throw it behind a receiver, it gets tipped in the air. And Logan Ryan's the benefactor of a tipped ball that puts the Patriots at point-blank range.
Hey! Baby, Logan! That's what I'm talking about! That's what I'm talking about!
We actually talked about that play before it happened, which is crazy, but that's something that, you know, with film study and preparation, we were able to talk about and be able to play plays. They ran exactly what we thought they would.
In a one-score game, McCourty knew the Texans would lean on receiver DeAndre Hopkins, and he even predicted Hopkins' in-breaking route.
Devin said, hey, if he runs an in-cut, get underneath him. So I was fortunate to get underneath Hopkins.
As Hopkins broke in, Ryan sat underneath the receiver. McCourty broke on the route as soon as he saw Brock Osweiler begin his throwing motion.
And the ball's a little high. Behind Devin was right there, and it was a tip, and I was able to be where it was.
So McCourty with an interception earlier. Now Ryan with another pick. And the Patriots set up beautifully. Brady's going to stand in the gun with Lewis to his right. They give to Dion Lewis, runs it to the right side. He's blocked, but with the second effort, and in! His third touchdown for the Patriots!
A touchdown catch, a kick return for a touchdown, and now a rush for a score.
Here's the snap, here's pressure. Brock stepping up, firing to the end zone. It's picked off.
Picked off in center field by Deron Harmon. Why not? McCourty's got a pick, Ryan's got a pick, and another Rutgers guy with an interception.
Big day for Rutgers. Big day for Rutgers. All had interceptions, and we'd love to see that.
A record for the Patriots quarterback and his head coach. 11 conference championships now for Brady and Bill Belichick.
This is the 6th straight year the Patriots will be going to the AFC Championship game. It breaks a record.
Yeah.
What is your reaction to that?
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's go win the AFC Championship game. That would be very cool.
This house is in a whole nother league.
When people think of Foxborough, they think of playoff games. It's definitely not dairy farms.
A few Sundays a year, this is what tiny Foxborough becomes.
It's a crisp night.
And on this night, the biggest game of the year, the guests offer the perfect storyline.
And here come the Pittsburgh.
They're also from a blue-collar town and knows more than a little bit about pride and tradition and stars and titles. And they've come to take over Foxborough. But anyone in this small town will tell you, this house is not for sale.
What we have here is magic. Hard to put into words.
All the history, all the stars who have passed through this place continues tonight.
All your work come down to right now, man. Right now.
Two of the National Football League's greatest franchises colliding. The last stop before the biggest party of the year. Once again, here, in this tiny speck on the map.
Feels like we're the center of the football universe sometimes.
It's an exciting place to live.
Here in Foxborough.
Championship game, and Tom Brady and Big Ben Roethlisberger, two guys that certainly 6 Super Bowl wins between them. And who would go on? We already knew Atlanta had won. So first quarter, New England's first try to get a field goal, Herm. Then Tom calls an audible, and Chris Hogan! He was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's like Hogan's Heroes. He was open a lot.
He was open a lot. Then Tom Brady, did we say he was open a lot? Good time here. Fires Hogan! Clink! You're an idiot! Hogan's open for touchdown.
What are we doing? Cover Hogan, please.
Wow. They 10-0. So there was the guy Pittsburgh never accounted for. Le'Veon Bell. The Patriots accounted for him, and then he was hurt. And so late first quarter, good start New England defense, and then this unfortunate.
Yes, really unfortunate for Le'Veon Bell. This guy is the starter of this offense. 74% of the first downs are giving the ball or throwing the ball to Le'Veon Bell. Williams comes in here and does a pretty good job.
We got to say, D'Angelo Williams, you can have a backup running back. He's about as good as it gets. He took the right side for 15 yards, and then 3rd and 1 on the 5. Williams, that's a hard run. That's a hard, from the days of Foxy in Carolina, right?
Yes, good run. Strong run inside.
They missed the point after 10-6. Dan, 3rd and 8, Patriots at the 44. It's that guy again, 15, Chris Hogan. What a day he had. And so, all right, we're going to hand the ball up. No, we're not.
Trickery.
The pitch goes back. Brady has time. Guess who's open? Hogan! Oh, my goodness. Hogan was the hero. It's a touchdown, and the Patriots are rolling at this point, 17-6. Here it is again, Herm.
Yeah, nice little gimmick play in the red area. When you cross the 40, you look for gimmicks and long passes, and they had one and dialed it up. Touchdown.
Mitchell bit, and so the Steelers in trouble. Bell back in the game, but he just wasn't him. 2-yard run, and that was it. So the Killer Bees, unfortunately for Pittsburgh, one of them got, at least football-wise, killed off by injury. Jesse James, it's a touchdown. So look, on 3rd and 8, just after the 2-minute warning. Oh, but they took a look again. And the ball was not. Good call, right?
Good call.
But all right, so Pittsburgh's right here. So big sequence, they're going to get right back in the game. No. Williams gets stuffed. Then, next play. Oh, my goodness, it's Vincent Valentine.
Big job by Valentine. This is starting to look like the Kansas City game. In the red area, can't score.
3rd and goal, but now they're at the 5. So now they're going to throw. And Ben, who played great, couldn't get Eli Rogers, wouldn't have took. So they only got a field goal out of that on the 1-foot line. 17-9. They go to halftime. Gostowski field goal, 20-9. Brady, and you'll never guess who he finds.
Oh, boy.
It's Hogan! Look at him, 39-yard gain. And then Pittsburgh did a very good job for most of the game against the run. But LeGarrette, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
whole team.
7, 8 Steelers already down to the 1-yard line. Again, give the Steelers run defense credit. Right up until that, I thought they were really good. But after that, it was as if the back was broken.
Right? Now they're starting to pull away, these New England Patriots.
27-9. Mike Tomlin knows we need something big time here. And he wasn't thinking of this.
Fumble.
Eli Rogers, it's a fumble. Rob Ninkovich, he's always around the ball. Kyle Van Noy for Matt Patricia's defense making the hit. And so now, short field. The slot man, Julian Edelman, has caught more postseason passes from Tom Brady than anyone. You wouldn't think so, but he's caught the most in Patriot history, 33-9. So now at this point, a wing, prayer not answered, Eric Rowe.
Eric Rowe takes the ball back in Pittsburgh territory.
Yeah, and so now Rowe, who was, chastised, he was the one on the pile last week against Houston.
Yep.
The two quarterbacks who have provided just some great moments and will provide some more, but they shake hands, and more often than not, it's been Brady over Big Ben. And Pittsburgh scored late, but it was real late.
Tom Brady has played with a channeled rage unlike anything I have seen since Michael Jordan. And I know it doesn't seem right to put Brady and Jordan in the same sentence because they don't seem to fit together sort of athletically. But whatever burns inside them, I was around Michael in Chicago. I got to know him well. It's channeled rage, and I sense the same sort of rage in a very different package in Tom Brady. So now Tom Brady also has a new motivation. And again, not that he wished any injury upon Rob Gronkowski, but there was always a big asterisk over the last 3 or 4 years beside Tom Brady's name. And that was that he had the benefit of throwing to a guy you've even acknowledged is going on the greatest receiving tight end in NFL history. Yes. And I think a lot of people knocked Brady for that, as in, well, would he be that good if he didn't get to throw it to that guy that nobody can cover? Well, now there's no Gronkowski, so there's no more excuse there for the Brady haters. It's Edelman or bust. Really? Julian Edelman or bust?
Chris Hogan's pretty good.
Well, is he?
He got two 100-yard games.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere against Pittsburgh. You weren't saying he was pretty good all year.
He came out of nowhere against Houston.
Okay, but again,
he came out of
where was he all year?
Penn State. He was
he came out of nowhere. Buffalo is where he came out of. So now it's an Atlanta defense that features 4 rookies against a Tom Brady playing in his 7th Super Bowl. I got to tell you, that's a mismatch. I'm not going to say that Brady's just going to have his way all day, but you remember, his offensive line it might be the best he's ever had. So he will get protected. They can blitz all they want or whatever. I don't think they can get to Brady like they should. And in this case, let's flip it around and look at the New England defense. I think it's being underrated because do you realize against the high-flying Steeler offense that you love most of the year, how many weapons do they have? Maybe not Atlanta's weapons, but they had a whole bunch of them. Do you realize Pittsburgh managed to score 9 points in that game of the AFC Championship game at Foxborough until 3:36 remained in the game, only 9 points. Mm-hmm. And I remind you, it was the mastermind Belichick who in their first breakthrough Super Bowl against the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams, a 14-point favorite that day, they held the greatest show on turf to 17 points. I think we'll see more of the same against Matt Ryan's high-flying offense. So remember, Atlanta's averaged 34 points, but New England's defense only averaged allowing 16 points. That's an 18-point difference. But I'm going to go with the number 1 defense with Belichick versus the number 1 offense featuring a Matt Ryan who has never played in this game. Nerves are going to play a bigger role in Matt Ryan's performance than obviously it will in Tom Brady's performance. So I'm going to see 2 turnovers for Atlanta, no turnovers for New England. I see Brady to Edelman and then a heavy dose of 250-pound LeGarrette Blount moving the chains, controlling the football, playing keep away, winning the time of possession like 34-26, that kind of a discrepancy in time of possession, which will allow them to win the game 32-20. Put it on the board. Thank you.
Well, Karen, you don't have to slam mine on the board, but I'm just as strong in my conviction with my pick as you are with yours.
I'm not sure about that.
I got the Atlanta Falcons 35-30. 2017 has been the breakthrough season for a lot of teams having to skip. We saw the Chicago Cubs, after a 108-year drought, win the World Series. We saw a Cleveland sports franchise, after 54 years, win the NBA title. LeBron James, the king, brought that back to Cleveland.
They lucked into it. They lucked into it. I mean, Draymond got suspended, but that's okay. There's an asterisk.
And so after 51 years, the Atlanta Falcons will bring the second title to Atlanta. They're going to beat the New England Patriots, Skip. First of all, let me tell you how they do it. They got to stay away from negative plays on first down. You cannot be 2nd and 13, 2nd and 12. Stay away from the negative plays on first down. You can't be good on third down. You must be great. If you look at them on third down in the playoffs, they're 64%. That'll win you a lot of games, because what you need to do is, when you have their defense, the Patriots defense on the field, keep them on the field, because, once they go to the sideline, Coach Belichick, Coach Patricia, Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, they're going to make their adjustments. It's hard to make adjustments when you're on the field. So keep them on the field, be good on third down. Skip, you got to keep your eye on your luggage. No turnovers. Turnovers, you play double in the Super Bowl, because we saw last year, Carolina Panthers turned the football over. What happened? It was a totally different ball game. In the red zone, if you take away the kneel down, the Atlanta Falcons have had 12 red zone possessions. They've scored 9 touchdowns. That's how you win ball games. You can't kick field goals against this team. You must score touchdowns. And when you do that, your defense, their smallest defense, Skip, Dan Quinn, he came from Seattle, and Pete Carroll, they're built to play with the lead. You hear DeMarcus Ware talking about when we had Peyton, we get out to you early, and now Vaughn and myself, we could get after the quarterback. That's what they're going to have to do. Coach Belichick, knowing him like I know him, he knows what they possess firepower-wise, the Atlanta Falcons. He's going to probably come out trying to run the football, Skip, because Atlanta can't win a close ball game. New England can win a 21-17 or a 24-20 ball game. Atlanta Falcons can only win one way: get into a shootout. Make it a 35-30 ball game. Make it a 40-something point ball game, because that's what they are. That's who they are. And I get it that when they beat the greatest show on turf, I still do not believe the greatest show on turf that year is better than what I've seen from the Atlanta Falcons this year. Matt Ryan has been lights out. 11 turnovers. They have the fewest turnovers, tied with the Patriots, the fewest turnovers all year. In the playoffs, they have yet to turn the football over. Skip, they're going to put pressure on them. I don't think Coach Belichick and the Patriots defense, because normally when you see the best defense, when you get number one offense, number one defense go, they normally have pressure guys up front. New England really can't pressure the quarterback. No. You said it yourself. They didn't even touch Ben Roethlisberger.
They did not.
And I know the big three is really, really good. But Pittsburgh's offense can't touch Atlanta Falcons' offense. They're the real deal.
They came charging out, and the Patriots came walking out. The MVP of the league, only learned it last night, Matt Ryan. Tom and the president and Barbara Bush flipped the coin. How classic was that, President George H.W. Bush? That was great. And then Courtney Upshaw very early let Tom Brady know, Atlanta, we have a defense too. Nobody has talked about it. And Grady Jarrett, he was just all over the place.
Man-to-man, Boomer,
Didn't
all
see him coming.
night long, and then they could not find anyone open early. The speed of the Atlanta defense was just too much early.
And so, rough start, Patriots first play, second quarter. Brady's going to loft one to Julian Edelman, and that's a 27-yard play. And just like, by the way, the Super Bowl with the Patriots winner against Carolina, no points scored in the first quarter. LeGarrette Blount gets the handoff, and he is not supposed to lose the football, but Deion Jones strips him. That Atlanta defense looked kind of like the Seattle defense, right?
3 points at halftime. Why? You get in the red zone, you fumble, take a bad penalty, and throw an interception. That's very un-Patriot-like.
So Robert Alford is there for the recovery. Then, here comes Atlanta. Off the turnover, they smell it. Julio Jones, he's just a monster, Randy. We talked about it, 19 yards.
They should have threw more balls. Tony Boom on him, 4 catches for the night, man. They needed him.
And then, here goes Ryan, and here he is again. Rips the ball away from Logan Ryan. And look at this. I mean, it's just 23-yard gain. Devontae Freeman, they were having trouble stopping the run. It's a 15-yard gain. Then it's Freeman again from the 14. And makes the move to the 5. We're going to have James. You're going to enjoy the whole highlight here. James Freeman into the end zone. Somebody scored a touchdown at the end, and we're getting to you. We don't want to give away the
no, we've waited 45 minutes for these highlights. We can't quit now.
It's 7-0 for Dan Quinn and the Falcons. Dan. On 3rd and 7. And, James, you thought you might have picked up a first down here, but not quite. They're all over you, right?
Yeah, man to man.
Falcons defense speedy, weren't they?
They were fast.
Falcons looking to extend the lead. Ryan Taylor Gabriel. I love that he wears Roman Gabriel's number 18.
And you know what? The Patriots put a lot of different looks in Matt Ryan's face, and they just ran and passed right through it early.
Ryan,
the whole kitchen sink.
Rolling left, Julio Jones. How does he constantly get his feet in like that, Randy?
Great focus and great concentration. That's why he is the alpha male.
So now 3rd and 9 from the 19. To the tight end, it's Austin Hooper. A perfect throw. Matt Ryan, Falcons, Dan Quinn, pumped. It's 14-0 Atlanta. No team has ever come back from a 14-point deficit in the Super Bowl. James White. I keep hearing this name. I'm going to meet him.
Mama, there go that man.
There's a flag. Here comes some flags. So first down, even though it was short of a first down. Now Brady. Incomplete. Another flag holding on Falcons. So now the drive continues. Oddly enough, it was the flags, not the Patriots' rhythm that was doing it. Incomplete up the middle. Another flag.
We took a page from Bill Belichick's book. We are going to be physical. You might call 3 or 4 holds, but we're going to be physical all day long and take advantage because you're not going to get 1,000 different penalties called against you.
Yeah, but guess what? It came around the other way. Alford could go all the way. It's, my goodness, a pick six. It's 21-0. Home Depot giving stuff away. I mean, look at this play here.
That was a great play by that young kid, Alford, man. They needed more plays in the second half, man. That was a great play called by Coach Quinn, man.
And Tom wondering, how are we going to come back from 21 points down? Well, I'm going to look for James White. You know, because that name keeps coming up. I don't know what it is about this. Tackled inside the Falcons 30, 28-yard gain. Brady. James White across the middle. Did you feel it at this time a little bit, James?
I knew I had to win one-on-one matchups, be a viable option for Tom. I just want to be open. Every play was a pass play. Just want to be open every single time.
18 seconds to go. A little screen pass inside the 5. There's a flag. Martellus Bennett, though, holding, and you guys must have been wondering, really? Really?
We were, man. Got some tough breaks, but guys kept fighting. Just find a way to win the game.
And so, look, trying to get a touchdown, but a screen. That's certainly not the design. That was a dump off, and so it only resulted in a field goal, 21-3 at the half. It's over. It's all over. 21-3.
There's something coming here, James. You might want to stick around.
I'll stick around for it.
First drive of the third quarter. And then you wondered, okay, Chris Hogan can't quite hold on. Couple Falcons in the area. 2 plays later, first drive, third quarter. Julian Edelman, who would be a circus catcher later, couldn't make the catch. This was odd. You know what?
Go ahead.
You heard Coach Belichick talking about the way his left tackles played. Look at these highlights and look at Cannon and Soldier, man.
So 3 and out. Now here's Matt Ryan, Taylor Gabriel, and they smell it. A touchdown could put the thing away. 2nd and 5 from the 37. Ryan, Gabriel takes a hard hit but holds on. Malcolm Butler falls to the ground, but a big play, Ryan.
You know what? They tried to match up Malcolm Butler a few times, and he was short. He came up short throughout the game until late when it really mattered.
And then Ryan to Gabriel, but there's the flag, and Butler on 3rd down. That looked like a good call, fellas. Yes?
That was a great call, man. Championship football, they got to call that, boom.
All right. And so Ryan on the pass interference goes to Tevin Coleman, and it's 28-3. And the South's going to rise up. It's 28-3, and it's over. The Patriots in 4-down territory already. 4th and 3 from the 46. Brady to Amendola, 17 yards.
The beginning of everything that you need to do to come back and win. That was the first of many that are going to outcome in the next 16 to 20 minutes.
This was the biggest play of the game for a while for the Patriots. Did you know we could run that fast, Jay?
I did. He's actually pretty fast sometimes.
Who is this James White that's scoring a touchdown on that play? You knew you couldn't fool around, right?
Nope, they had to turn around, get the ball in the end zone.
28-9, and then really, like, doink. So all that, I know it's only 1 point. It's like, really? It's 28-9. That was 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Early fourth quarter. Now, Tom Brady to Malcolm Mitchell, the youngster, rolling. Look at, we have the youngster right here.
Money
Malcolm,
match.
welcome to the show. You guys might want to watch this. You might not believe what happened. Nice grab here.
Thank you.
And then, Martellus Bennett, 25 yards. Here come the Patriots, but it's still 28-9.
But you got to remember the calculus that they're making right now on what they need to get this done, and they didn't expect that and have to settle for 3. They were thinking about 3 scores, but not. They wanted a touchdown right here.
Grady Jarrett didn't do it once. He was a monster, wasn't he?
He had a heck of a game. Unfortunately, they was on the losing ends, but he had a dominant game.
And so it's just a field goal, but now 16 points. 28-12, 16-point deficit. And here's the play. Dante Hightower on 3rd and 1. It's a fumble, and the Patriots have the football.
When you look back at this game, this is where it turned. This is inexcusable. Deep drop, 3rd and 1. You got the blitz. Everyone knew it. I saw it coming from 5 seconds before the snap. You cannot hold the football in that situation and allow that.
And then, you know what? Dwight Freeney has played against Tom Brady 16 times. Do you think they know each other? So it's a 5-yard loss, but so what? And then, who is this Malcolm Mitchell? Who is this guy? He's a youngster, isn't he?
Yeah. Rookie.
Tom said to get over. Brady to Danny Amendola. It's 28-18. Tell us about this play, James. 2-point conversion.
Worked on it in practice for a couple weeks. Just catch a ball from the center. Just find a way to get in the end zone.
2-point conversion makes it 28-20. If you're scoring at home, it's a 1-score game. So now here's the kickoff. And this is what the Patriots do. They kick to like the 2, right? So you got to field it. And then you got them deep in their territory. That's just brilliant.
That's a great call by the special team coach. A lot of y'all kickers for next season, man. Try to pin your team inside the 25. That was a great call.
Yeah, but here's a great call. Devontae Freeman, who looked like he was too fast for the Patriots defense all night. 39-yard pickup. 2 plays later, 2nd and 9. This is what Coach Belichick talked about. Julio Jones is out of this world.
Incredible throw and an even more incredible catch. Look at the body control. Look at, he said, the second, you think, is he going to get down? Oh, he gets down, like Coach said, a yard inside the line.
Nothing you can do.
Nothing.
Okay, so game over, right?
The game's over.
Game's over. You're in field goal range, go up by 12.
They're going to go up right. They're going to go up by 11. And 2nd and 11 from the 23.
Deep
Trey
drop.
Flowers.
Deep drop.
Oh,
that ball has got to come out.
There's the sack.
I can't tell you how inexcusable that is. That cannot happen. The ball has got to come out. The play calling cannot put into a deep drop. Those are things that lose Super Bowls.
And 3rd and 23, Ryan to Mohamed Sanu. So maybe enough for a long field goal, but Jake Matthews called for holding. So twice out of field goal, and by the way, it was a hold. So now 3rd and 33. What play you got for this?
Good luck.
They go to Taylor Gabriel. They just want a field goal, and they cannot get it. And now they force a punt. But remember, it's 28-20. There's about 3.5.
Oh, this part of the movie we've seen before, just so you know.
Chris Hogan for 16 yards, first down. Then Malcolm Mitchell. There you were.
Yes,
they were giving you space, weren't they?
Too much.
11 yards. Brady over the middle, ball tip. And you guys are watching this. All of us. This is amazing. Julian Edelman, they reviewed it on the challenge. What?
Wow.
That's
you
incredible.
didn't see that, did you?
I saw it.
I saw it. I was running right to it.
That's the get back from the helmet catch from the Giants. That's what.
Yes.
It's only fair. It's only fair.
I was a kid watching that game.
And so Bell. So now Brady to Danny Amendola. Over 2 minutes to go. 20 yards across the middle. Then James, what do you see in here? Take it and go as far as you can, right?
Yep. Just find it in the playing zone. That was his own call. Catch the ball, get up the field, get as many yards as possible.
And then here it is. Right. Ooh, near the goal line. Under a minute. Tick, tick. There you go. What are you smelling like when you get in there?
Oh, man, I'm just real excited, man. Didn't really know what to do.
James, you knew before the game you were going to catch 14 for 110, right?
2 point conversion.
No idea. No clue.
He barely makes it. Look, good look, guys. Take a look. Yeah. He's in.
He's in.
And now we have 28 all. And we go to overtime, and the Falcons had a shot with the coin toss. Yeah, we'll take the ball, right?
It's over, boom.
All right, you guys, here's the swing to James White. James, just pick up yards, right?
Just pick up yards.
Danny Amendola.
Great catch.
Oh, how about the throw and catch there, fellas? Then Brady to Chris Hogan. The loft, ooh, just in front of the defense. And then, it's got to be Edelman, right? Got to be. The slot, and here they go. Now, James, you take us through this. Ooh, the little
swing screen. We ran earlier in the game. I got tackled on my shoelaces that time. Got as many yards as I could on that.
And this was a tight call of pass interference. Tight
he never got his head back, so you feel like, well, doesn't matter what's on the line. You don't get your head back. It's part of the rule. You're going to get called for it.
Here's your touchdown, James.
Toss play. I mean, just had to run through one guy. Just wanted to do whatever it took to get the ball in the end zone.
There was pretty quick celebration. Did you know they were reviewing this?
No, I had no idea. I knew for sure I got in, so I was celebrating.
So was he. And here it is. Take a look.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep. And Boomer, you and I were sitting up, and we were right here about 3 feet away.
Let the confetti fall, gentlemen. Congratulations.
That's as emotional as we've seen, Coach.
Ever.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we, and of course, the scene that looked
That
like
was
it never
awesome.
It was never going to happen, right?
It did happen, Boom. That was awesome. You read his lips.
Yep. The Lombardi Trophy to the Krabs, to the Patriots, to the players, and in overtime. The first Super Bowl ever to go to overtime. Down by 25 points. The New England Patriots in overtime. And Super Bowl 51, a scene that continues, that will never be forgotten. The Patriots somehow, some way, from 25 points down, have won Super Bowl 51. The commissioner shakes hands with the MVP. He gives the trophy to the Kraft family, Robert, Jonathan, and New England. Where do we begin? Where do we end? This is NFL primetime. You know the music. You know the scene. I'm Chris Berman. This is a one-time MVP of this Super Bowl, Steve Young. This is Randy Moss, who played with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots. All we have to say is if this was preordained, all the commissioner and the trophy and the history, and if this was preordained, what an odd way to deliver it. Wow!
I feel like I was a witness. I feel like something really special generationally happened in one of the great football games in the history of the game. And then it happened to be at a time and a place where Tom Brady, I mean, those of us that have climbed Everest and put the flag in and smelled the air, the lack of it or whatever else, but then you have to come back down. And I just got to feel that Tom Brady has basically built a house up there. He's just going to live there. He doesn't like the lower elevation. He's just going to hang out there. And there's something about tonight that just feels like it's different than any of the big games. How many Super Bowls have we sat or watched, stood and watched the last play go either way? Great games, but something about this game and what it meant for 5 Super Bowls for the Patriots, Tom Brady 5, and what was on the line and how it came and unfolded. Randy, I got to be honest with you. I sat there and when they scored to win it, I'm like, I was here, and I'll be telling my kids I was here.
Well, the thing about it, man, it was a lot of buzz in the air, man. I'm actually speechless. Down 28-3. It was flat in this stadium. You know, you couldn't hear nothing. You know, coming on to this show, Boom, you looked at Roger Goodell and Tom Brady shaking hands. I read Roger Goodell's lips. Awesome. Awesome. It was an awesome night. It was an awesome performance, just not by Tom Brady, but by the Patriots as a whole. Great play calling offensively. Great defensive calling when you needed to stop the offense of the Atlanta Falcons. And as a whole, man, the confetti fell. Man, like I said, I'm speechless for words, Boom. Historical moment for the National Football League and the New England Patriots tonight.
And I'll say this. In a league that's right now designed to prevent dynasties with free agency, scheduling, the draft, the New England Patriots are a dynasty, and they just keep adding to it.
As long as they have Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they're going to continue to be a dynasty and continue to win a lot of games and continue to win Super Bowls. No end appears to be in sight. It really is remarkable. I mean, I'm still in disbelief over what we watched. I mean, to be down that many points, and it looked like the game essentially was over, and yet Tom Brady and the Patriots are able to climb back in it and win this game, and I'm speechless, really. I mean, it's pretty amazing, and what a great win for a great organization and for a great quarterback who, if there was ever any questions coming into this game, certainly all of that is removed. He's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, okay, so this was a 25-point game at one point. This becomes the biggest comeback in the history of the Super Bowl by a mile at the end of the first overtime game in the history of the Super Bowl. And they did it a lot of different ways. I tell you, a guy, James White. Not a lot of people were thinking about James White coming into this game. But, man, what an effort here tonight. And the rookie Malcolm Mitchell on the outside I thought was big in the second half, too.
Yeah, no, both of those guys, and that kind of happens. You remember 2 years ago it was Malcolm Butler who was able to step up and make a name for himself, and then James White, and like you said, Malcolm Mitchell, you know, in this game today. And the guys who you least expect sometimes are the ones who emerge. But just a great team win, and I know it's I know there's going to be a lot of celebrating going on for this Patriot team.
Yeah, and a lot of heartache in Atlanta. What a game, what a season by the Atlanta Falcons. But in the end, it's Tom Brady, it's Bill Belichick, it's the New England Patriots doing it again, winning it by 6 points in overtime in a game that none of us will ever forget. Back to you.
It's hard to even put it into words what we just saw, what you all just saw. Thanks for coming over and hanging out with us here on SportsCenter. Jeff, I'll let you have the first word. Yes, it's a great comeback. Yes, Tom Brady is now the first quarterback ever with 5. But how they were able to do it, 19 points in the fourth quarter and then scoring in overtime, what do you have to say?
It's incredible. I mean, just the sheer will to win by this football team was incredible. And like you said, 19 down, you know, the Falcons are driving in, have a chance really to seal it. Instead, sack, then penalty. Now they got to punt it, still come back, drive it all those yards. Got to get two-point conversions to tie. I mean, everything against them. Everything was against them, and they never quit, man. And you didn't see anybody back down. Nobody laid down. Those guys fought to the very end. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, we were sitting here, I'm speechless. It's hard to even put into words how hard this really is to do. I mean, for everybody on that roster, all 53 guys, to keep giving it their all, even the last play, I mean, when Lewis, blows his leg out, I mean, they're going for it even then on the final. I mean, these guys, they put it all out there. Take your hat off to them. Absolutely incredible football victory. Well-deserved Super Bowl champions. I mean, Tom Brady and what he did. I mean, my gosh, man. It was insane. It's insane. I will say, and he wasn't playing good. That's the bottom line. Is early in the game, he's missing passes he shouldn't. Then when he's dropping dimes, his best guys are dropping it. You never see him fighting. You never see him battling. These guys go right back to the sideline, slapping each other on the back of the head, man. Pick it up. We got you. Blunt fumbles one. Doesn't matter. Kicker kicks one. Bounces on. Nobody cares, man. Keep battling, keep grinding. They keep doing it. Tom Brady, he's the ultimate leader when you watch what he does on the sideline. He willed his team to victory. It was just absolutely incredible.
It's a remarkable win by New England. Nothing they do should surprise us anymore. The Patriots never led in this football game until they won the game in overtime, Trev.
I'm still trying to process it all, and I don't want to make the mistake of trying to over-explain something that was nearly impossible. I love the sound that they just played because his teammates, what they showed was that they had supreme confidence that one man would do the impossible. Is there a greater compliment you can give to a teammate? Let's put this for 28-3. There's no way you can win that football game. Even the great Tom Brady, even with the greatest coach of all time.
Third quarter.
28-3. And they do. And they do it in such a way that you just have to sit back and say, okay, this is more than him just being a great passer. This is more than just all the great XOs. There's something about this man's soul. There's something about this organization that's deeper than the tangible that allows them to do these things. And I think we're going to look back at this thing 10 years from now and say, we just saw the greatest football game ever played. Not just the greatest comeback, but maybe the greatest football game ever played, Ryan.
I was sitting there in the third quarter like, they're not rushing. They're not hurrying up to the line. They don't seem pressed. It's because of what Trent said, though. They had supreme confidence in the man that Julian Edelman says, I don't think anybody else could have done that. I don't think we will ever see anyone do that again. And that's the way this team feels about their quarterback, and I feel like he plays with that confidence behind him, but also confidence in himself.
It's also very hard at times to explain where experience and inexperience actually shows up.
Right.
About the experience of this Patriots team where there was no flinch. Right. And they had every reason to flinch now. They were getting hammered, and they didn't flinch.
I think the other thing, though, when you look at them getting hammered, like you said, and losing, it's because they weren't playing like we're used to seeing the Patriots play. You know, it wasn't just the Falcons playing well. It was the Patriots making mistakes. It was the Patriots dropping footballs. Exactly. It was the Patriots blowing coverages. We don't see those things from this team. And we saw them all for 3 quarters.
Right.
And you get past that to win the game.
That happens to other teams.
Exactly.
Not to New England. The comeback thing is fascinating. Every year we're reminded the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history was just 10 points. Our colleague Lisa Kearney tweeted that out tonight, and now we can do away with that. It's now 25 points in the Super Bowl.
Say that again.
25 points.
Please, take it, breathe it in.
It's the third greatest comeback in NFL postseason history, by far the greatest in Super Bowl history.
This was the most amazing game I've ever witnessed, and maybe I'm being a little prisoner of the moment, but I don't think so. It's starting to sink in. That was the most improbable comeback in all of sports history, where there was no way, because the New England Patriots of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were all-time bad, followed by all-time great. All-time great. And I did say that back when we launched the show on September 6th. I said, this is going to be the year, Brady. He's going to be the Super Bowl MVP. But not in my wildest dreams or nightmares did I ever see it happening like that happened. And I'm ready to plunge and go this far, and we'll talk about this throughout the show. But for me, I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan on the planet, but now I have to be objective. I believe that last night, Tom Brady didn't just eclipse the great Joe Montana within the confines of Super Bowl and NFL. I believe last night, Tom Brady eclipsed the man, MJ, Michael Jordan, as the greatest clutch player in all of sports history. Wow. When you look at his Super Bowl resume, and we'll get into it more in detail later, but what he pulled off last night was flat out impossible, seriously impossible. When the money was on the table, Brady was Brady and Matt Ryan was Matt Ryan. And when he got strip sacked, that was at, I think, 28-12, 8:31 to go in the fourth quarter. And there was that little shot, if we could see it, of Brady on the sideline. Wait, guess who that guy is? Guess who that guy is? That's Psycho Tom. That's the guy, when I see him emerge, it's like the little kid comes out of him, but it's like a crazed little kid. And he does his little half pirouette, unathletic jump on the sideline. And you say, uh-oh, here he comes. And from that moment on, the stats, think of these. From 28-3 down, he goes 26 of 33 for 284 with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. New England from that point had 338 total yards to 69 for Matt Ryan and company, and just took over the football game. Tom Brady rose above that game and took it over the way nobody in the history of the NFL could do. And in the end, he did get to watch Roger Goodell present that trophy to Bob Kraft, who just delighted in it. He just reveled in it, right? Sweetest ever, right? And Tom Brady did accept the handshake from Roger Goodell because he's a classy individual, and he wasn't going to leave him hanging on that one, though I wish he would have. And in the end,
come on now.
Well, seriously,
not on that stage.
Not on that stage. But in the end, Tom Brady managed to beat Roger Goodell by not only saving his legacy that Roger attempted to tarnish, if not wreck, but he enhanced it last night by starting off so poorly and finishing so all-time great.
I've never seen anything like this. What I saw last night may be the greatest performance I've ever seen in the championship game, in the Super Bowl. I'll go to NFL because I got to think a little bit harder about some NFL encounters and things, NBA encounters rather than things that I've seen. But this is the greatest on a football field that I've ever seen. I thought that Tom Brady was absolutely sensational on so many ways. The passes that he was making when it counted, the accuracy, the poise, everything that you want from your leader. He delivered the goods. Now, he was already considered one of the great ones. After what I saw yesterday, that was a Montana moment that, to me, I had never gotten from Brady. I saw Brady lose an AFC Championship game to Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. I saw him lose an AFC Championship game against Denver. I saw him not close the deal against the Giants. One time or another, whether it's because of a sack or anything like that, or Eli Manning coming to the rescue with David Tyree or the Mario Manningham hookup. I saw all of these things. I was waiting for what I believed was a Joe Montana moment from Tom Brady to eclipse him over Joe Montana. This was it. I concede. I have nothing to say. It's the greatest performance I've ever seen on a football field.
I've said it. Tom Brady is the greatest football player in the 97-year history of the NFL. There's nothing else to debate. You can get a Harvard-educated lawyer. You can get one from the John Jay School of Law. Nobody can argue this. The fashion in which he did it, and the body of work, his resume is extensive. 14 division titles, 2 Super Bowl, 2 league MVPs, a 5,000-yard passing season, 5 Super Bowls, 4 times he was the Super Bowl MVP. In the past 2, the way he's come back in dramatic fashion. What are we doing? He has the highest total passing yards in NFL history in the Super Bowl. 45 of 63, 466, 2 touchdowns. When it mattered the most.
You mean last
in
night?
this game?
Yeah, but you were talking about what you said last week.
Yeah. I'm saying if he had won this game, he was going to be the greatest player. He was going to pass Jerry because I gave it. I thought Jerry and LT. I go back and forth between Lawrence Taylor and Jerry Rice. Throw Jim Brown in there because what he did in the 9 years he played.
Yeah.
But Skip, now for me, it's Tom. What are we debating?
Okay.
It says a lot because to me, he is the Michael Jordan of football. Now, we talk about Aaron Rodgers and his ability of what he can do, but when you have a guy who I would say probably less athletic than a lot of quarterbacks that have played, but still have the mentality of knowing what to do with the right situation and elevating the players around him. Julian Edelman was a quarterback in college. From Chris Hogan was a lacrosse player in Monmouth. You go all the way to Mitchell. Nobody even talk about wide receiver Mitchell. Take Gronk out of it. Martellus Bennett was a backup tight end until Gronk got hurt. Now all of a sudden it became.
But Bennett was a good player.
But see, this is what I'm saying. But
How
it became.
about he did it without Gronk?
Well, see, and that's the whole thing. So when you talk about Tom Brady and the consistency that he's had throughout his career, and I compare him to Michael Jordan, and he's not only the greatest quarterback that have played in the NFL, he may be arguably the greatest player. Because quarterbacks get measured a little bit differently. And I say that because last night showed me something different where it became a Michael Jordan moment in Utah. Hitting that game winner, holding it up. Holding it up, and I'm a Bulls fan, holding his hand up to follow through to let everybody know where I stand as far as history is concerned. That last night showed where Tom Brady was, with they leading them down for the championship for the win. That right there just let everybody know how great Tom Brady is. And it was a mic drop moment where he can retire at this point, and we would love it.
There is one conversation that no longer should be had, will be had, plain and simple. What we saw last night on the world stage of the Super Bowl, what the international football loving audience saw, what I saw with my own 2 eyes last night, was the minting of a goat. But what we saw last night is a conversation ender as to who the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League is. Now, we could have a conversation about who's the greatest football player of all time. Tom Brady put himself on the pantheon of Jerry Rice and Jim Brown last night. I call it like I see it from this desk here at the Rich Eisen Show. Nobody has now more than 5 rings. Nobody has more than 4 rings other than him. He's got the most rings. He did it in a game where he threw for the most yards in the history of the Super Bowl to lead the largest comeback in NFL history in terms of impressiveness, in terms of importance, in terms of clutchness. I understand it wasn't the biggest comeback in playoff history. That Frank Reich comeback for the Bills on the Oilers still is. But come on. Nobody's ever come back from more than 10 points in a Super Bowl. Who's the team that came back from 10 points in the Super Bowl before? That'd be Super Bowl 49 Patriots. Okay? When he was the MVP of that game because he found 4 different receivers and 4 touchdowns. There was no...
At some point, people are going to get into this discussion. And it's going to be interesting because if for anybody that wants to argue that he's not, and you start the conversation, it's amazing because they know they're going to lose the argument, hands down. I mean, when you talk about having the greatest game of your career, the greatest comeback in franchise history, the greatest comeback in the history of the Super Bowl, on the biggest stage by the most successful, biggest name in our sport in Tom Brady, on the biggest stage. I mean, whatever box you want to check off, if you want to argue against that, you're going to lose.
5 rings, 4 Super Bowl MVPs, setting the record for yards, attempts, completion.
First Super Bowl I ever covered was January 18th of 1976. It was Super Bowl 10, the first Dallas-Pittsburgh Super Bowl, way before your time.
Old Tulane Stadium?
No, it was at Miami at the Orange Bowl, back in your stomping grounds. And all these games I've seen since then, I've never seen anything like that game. And all the great games in other sports I covered, the U.S. upset of the Soviets in the 1980 Olympic hockey game in Lake Placid, I was there. The Montana to Dwight Clark, the catch game, Candlestick at the end of the 1981 season, I was there. The Kirk Gibson walk-off with 2 down in the 9th to beat the vaunted Oakland A's and Dennis Eckersley, I was there. And yet I've never seen anything like this. This was the most amazing game I've ever witnessed. And maybe I'm being a little prisoner of the moment, but I don't think so. It's starting to sink in. That was the most improbable comeback in all of sports history, where there was no way, because the New England Patriots of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were all-time bad, followed by all-time great. All-time great. And I did say that back when we launched the show on September 6th. I said, this is going to be the year, Brady. He's going to be the Super Bowl MVP. But not in my wildest dreams or nightmares did I ever see it happening like that happened. And I'm ready to plunge and go this far. And we'll talk about this throughout the show. But for me, I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan on the planet, but now I have to be objective. I believe that last night, Tom Brady didn't just eclipse the great Joe Montana within the confines of Super Bowl and NFL. I believe last night, Tom Brady eclipsed the man, MJ, Michael Jordan, as the greatest clutch player in all of sports history. When you look at his Super Bowl resume, and we'll get into it more in detail later, but what he pulled off last night was flat out impossible, seriously impossible. And I kept thinking of you, and I knew you were celebrating because you want to talk about deflated. I was deflated. And when Tom Brady threw a pick 6 late in the second quarter that made it 21-0, I said, game over. There's no way. The Falcons are too explosive on offense. They're going to have the ball too many times in the second half. There's no way Brady can pull that off. And then for sure it was game over when the Falcons scored to make it 28-3 with 8:31 left in the third quarter. 28-3? Were you not game over at that point?
Yeah, I really did. I thought that was the excuse me. I thought that was the dagger. And in talking to all the guys, because obviously we were the historically black college pro football Hall of Famers were honored, and everybody in there thought it was over. Jackie Slater was also in there. His son Matthew plays for the Patriots, and he was just like, "I did not see this coming. I did not see this happening like this."
So at that point, I gave up on the game a little bit. I started playing with Hazel, my little Maltese, for a while because I hadn't seen her for a week. You know, I did. I used her. I used her for a little good. I brought her into my viewing room to change the fortunes and the luck of the game. But I started to process, how are we going to explain that Tom Brady just played his first ugly Super Bowl with an ugly loss to fall to 4-3 in Super Bowls? And I thought, this is going to be tough. And at that point, Shannon Sharp, help me out here. New England could not run the ball or stop the run. Am I right about that?
Yes.
And at that point, the new improved New England offensive line with Dante Scarnecchia coming back out of retirement to coach it, it looked even worse than it did at Denver a year ago. They couldn't block anybody. And Tom Brady, as we just heard him say, was getting the you-know-what knocked out of him. And he was losing a little bit of poise and a little bit of accuracy, because he is human now. Yes. And he was getting hit so hard that he was getting a little gun shy, and he missed 3 or 4 throws, a couple to Edelman, where I thought, what are you doing? Not to mention, they had dropped 3 balls. Gostkowski had missed it, just clanked an extra point off the right upright.
You thought it was Denver all over again.
Yeah, it was Denver all over again. And LeGarrette Blount had blown the potential early lead with the fumble where he got stripped by Deion Jones. And I thought we were looking at 42-10 at that point, seriously. And then this happened. Tom Brady turned back into Tom Brady, and Matt Ryan turned back into Matt Ryan. That guy that I told you all last week, we had great shows in Houston, thank you, Houston, but I kept saying, I just don't believe in this guy to this level. And when it was time, when the money was on the table, Brady was Brady and Matt Ryan was Matt Ryan. And when he got strip sacked, that was at, I think, 28-12, 8:31 to go in the fourth quarter. And there was that little shot, if we could see it, of Brady on the sideline. Wait! Guess who that guy is? Guess who that guy is? That's Psycho Tom. That's the guy when I see him emerge, it's like the little kid comes out of him, but it's like a crazed little kid. And he does his little half pirouette, unathletic jump on the sideline. And you say, uh-oh, here he comes. And from that moment on, the stats, think of these. From 28-3 down, he goes 26 of 33 for 284 with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. New England from that point had 338 total yards to 69 for Matt Ryan and company, and just took over the football game. Tom Brady rose above that game and took it over the way nobody in the history of the NFL could do. And in the end, he did get to watch Roger Goodell present that trophy to Bob Kraft, who just delighted in it. He just reveled in it, right? Sweetest ever, right? And Tom Brady did accept the handshake from Roger Goodell because he's a classy individual, and he wasn't going to leave him hanging on that one, though I wish he would have. And in the end,
come on now.
Well, seriously,
not on that stage.
Not on that stage. But in the end, Tom Brady managed to beat Roger Goodell by not only saving his legacy that Roger attempted to tarnish, if not wreck, but he enhanced it last night by starting off so poorly and finishing so all-time great.